This video is sponsored by World of Tanks. The Airbus A220 family of aircraft was initially designed by Bombardier Aerospace as Bombardier CSeries. The two variants were labelled the CS100 and CS300. This C-Series program was formally launched at the Farnborough Air Show in July 2008. As you may already know, this program eventually made its way into the hands of Airbus. In today's video, let's look at how all of this happened. The smaller of the two jets, the CS100, performed its maiden flight on September 16, 2013 and entered commercial service on July 15, 2016 with launch operator Swiss. The extended version, the CS300, first flew on February 27, 2015 and entered commercial service with Air Baltic on December 14, 2016. In April 2016, Bombardier Aerospace received a firm order for 75 C-Series aircraft from one of the three major carriers in the United States, Delta Airlines. The order included 75 of the CS100s plus 50 future options. The entire program would be thrown into turmoil when, a year later, in April 2017, Boeing filed a petition against Bombardier for selling the C-Series aircraft at approximately $24 million each, much below their production cost of $33 million. As part of the petition, Boeing showed that the order posed a significant threat to the U.S. industry. As a result, the U.S. Department of Commerce, or DOC, imposed subsidies of 220% plus a preliminary 80% anti-dumping duty. In December 2017, this same governing body announced a total duty of 292%. The commercial aviation market is full of fierce competition, as we've seen with Boeing's battle against Bombardier. But fierce competition can be fun and have much lower stakes when it comes to today's sponsor, World of Tanks. A free game with over 100 million players worldwide, players can access over 800 tanks, including destroyers, artillery, light, medium and heavy tanks. There's always a new way to play. Over 40 arenas mean that players can drive across open fields and deserts or sneak through forests and urban areas. Making things even better is the fact that World of Tanks strives for historical accuracy and inspiration, making for authentic models and vehicle characteristics. As you play, you'll earn experience and can modify and upgrade your tank, creating a steel beast ready for any challenge. If this sounds like something you'd like to try, then download World of Tanks using the first link in the description. When you register, use the code TANKMANIA for 7 days of free access to a premium account. This code also provides 250,000 credits, the premium tank Excelsior Tier 5, and 3 rental tanks for 10 battles each, Tiger 131 Tier 6, Cromwell B Tier 6, and T-34-85M Tier 6. Our thanks again to today's sponsor, World of Tanks, for supporting this video. And now, back to the show. The Canadian government filed a complaint at the World Trade Organization, or WTO, against the US in January 2018. In February of 2018, the U.S. International Trade Commission, or USITC, overturned the imposed duties as it had determined that the U.S. industry was not threatened by Delta Airlines' order to Bombardier. Meanwhile, the slow business, tough competitors, and the actions sparked by Boeing forced Bombardier to enter into a partnership with Airbus in October 2017. Airbus acquired a controlling share, 50.01%, in the joint venture with Bombardier. Within days of the control transfer to Airbus, the Bombardier C-Series was rebranded as the Airbus A220 family. The company producing the A220 was later named Airbus Canada Limited Partnership and adopted the Airbus logo as its sole visual identity. In February 2020, Bombardier exited the program, leaving Airbus with the lion's share, 75%, and the Quebec government's remaining 25% share. Transitioning to being an Airbus product, one major priority for the European plane maker was, and continues to be, lowering the cost of production while ramping up output. Bombardier's massive cost to produce the C-Series aircraft was no secret for the manufacturing industry. Boeing recognized the same thing during their dumping petition in 2017. As noted before, the estimated cost of production of an A220-100 aircraft with Bombardier's existing process was approximately $33 million. The cost included the general, administrative, and overhead costs applicable to the aircraft. Airbus also identified that the production cost of only the aircraft, parts, processes, and labour was over $24 million. Hoping to address this, a new program team was formed with leaders from Bombardier and Airbus to standardize processes for efficiently transitioning the aircraft. During the initial years of acquiring most of the program, Airbus aimed to minimize production costs before marketing the aircraft under its name. Airbus used its strong supply chain network to cut material and process costs in the first phase. At the same time, Airbus's experienced workforce enabled the company to optimize the existing process in the Mirabel, Quebec facility. Moreover, production resources were shared with a second final assembly line, or FAL, in Mobile, Alabama, to cater to the North American market. The location of this facility within U.S. borders was aimed to help Airbus avoid import tariffs that would have come from planes built outside of the United States. Like the Airbus A320neo and Boeing 737 MAX aircraft, the Airbus Canada A220 is no different regarding production delays. Airbus was already facing some delays with their neo family when taking control of the A220. In the initial years of the partnership with Bombardier, several Airbus A220s were built and unfinished at the Mirabel Airport facility in Quebec. There were missing cockpit installations on several aircraft due to missing supplier parts. The new FAL at Mobile further added to the delays as it was still in the learning stages for the new program. There were substantial quality control issues related to processes and products at the Mobile facility. However, Airbus poured a lot of money and resources into resolving the problems and bringing the facility up to speed. The first A220 in Mobile was assembled on a line shared with the A320/A321neo line. Airbus delivered its first US-assembled A220-300 to Delta in October 2020. It was important for Airbus to reach profitability in the A220 program. The C-Series production rate with Bombardier was just over 1 aircraft per month. With the 2 final assembly lines going, Airbus initially increased the production rate to 3 aircraft per month. Airbus determined that the production rate must be boosted to 14 aircraft per month between Mirabel and Mobile plants if it is to reach net profitability. Speaking to CTV News, the president and CEO of Airbus Canada, Benoit Schultz, commented, "We have a plan that works to make 14 planes per month, 10 in Mirabel and 4 in Mobile in Alabama in the middle of the decade, even after the adjustments to production to mitigate the difficulties of the supply chain that we've done recently." The production rate is necessary to reduce materials, supplies, and overhead costs. It is noteworthy that a typical narrow-body aircraft program aims to break even at approximately 400 sales. While the number of sales to break even for the A220 program is still being determined, it was more than twice the number when Bombardier owned the program. This was calculated based on the $52 billion in cost overruns that Bombardier had incurred on the C-Series program. In 2022, Airbus averaged nearly 4.5 A220 aircraft deliveries per month. The manufacturer aims to reach the targeted production rate of 14 deliveries per month by 2025. What are your thoughts on this aircraft program transitioning from being known as the Bombardier C-Series to the Airbus A220 family? Let us know in the comments section. In addition to our daily YouTube videos, Simple Flying publishes over 150 articles every week. If you're looking for the latest aviation news and insights, visit simpleflying.com.